All right, let's cut the shit. If you want to rank in Google's AI, we need to take a look at who's ranking, what they're doing, and reverse engineer that to create a strategy that works for us. So let's jump right into it. I don't want to keep you waiting. We're taking a look at the keyword today, best hats for fishing, which by the way is an amazing keyword. We see that there's two people ranking here. We have gearjunkie.com and then we have wired to fish, but we're going to be taking a look at the AI results today. So let's just go down here. We'll open up the results. I already have a bunch of links open for you guys, so I'm going to be going back and forth. Um, but the first one here, let's see, we have Amazon. We're not going to count Amazon in this or Reddit. We're just going to count actual websites. So best hats for fishing. And by the way, you can post on Reddit and kind of influence the results that way. But it's not necessarily leading to your website. It's just quoting Reddit, which is why that may not be the best option to do. But let's look at these websites. So we have Wired to Fish, JJ Hat Center, which I have open. So a lot of people are saying we need schema markup or we need backlinks. And I want to take a look at that with you so you can actually see what's going on these websites. So we'll take those first two, Wired to Fish and JJ Hat Center. And then we have Gear Junkie as well up there. So let's go to Gear Junkie. No, so JJ Hat Center, they have no referring domains and no backlinks. I don't like to necessarily look at the backlinks because you can have many backlinks from one website. Let's take a look at Wired to Fish now. They have three referring domains, meaning they have three websites linking to them and five backlinks. So their authority is not that great. It's 12 compared to these guys who have zero. So I'm like, do you really need backlinks to rank in the AI results and the AI overviews? Let's take a look at some of these other sites in here as well. If we click on this, we can see Amazon, this site here, Columbia Sportswear. So we have all these other sites. But I was looking for Wired or Gear Junkie because they were ranking in here a moment ago. Uh, where are they? So yeah, Gear Junkie's down here as well. And also if you swipe through here, you can see all these sites. So let's take a look at Gear Junkie because they're also ranking number one. So I want to see what they're doing. So this Gear Junkie page, they have 11 referring domains, which is the most we've seen so far. And their authority score is the highest so far, which to me makes sense. That's why they're ranking number one because they have the most authority on that topic. Now, Wired to Fish, they have the second most authority. But the real question here is like, how do we get into the AI overviews? Like, how do we get our sites ranking there? So, again, a lot of people think it's schema markup. We're going to just take a quick look at the schema markup here. I've already run this. So, for Gear Junkie, right, they're ranking above the AI results, which is crazy. You don't see that very often. They have a ton of schema markup on their site. I'm not going to go through all of this, but I'm sure I will in another video in more detail. So they have product snippets, merchant listings, article schema, FAQ, and review snippets all on one page. So they have 76 valid items detected. That's crazy. That's a lot. Now let's go to JJ Hat Center. These guys here have, it doesn't really look like they've done any schema markup. So they are ranking higher in the AI overviews than what was it, the Gear Center site or the Junkie site. So they're ranking higher than these guys, and they haven't done anything. They have, what is it, breadcrumbs? They have breadcrumbs on their site. That's it. And that's just by default, right? Now let's take a look at Wired to Fish, which was also up there as well and ranked higher in the AI results. It's also ranking second. So they have the article schema markup, which is automatic, and breadcrumbs. Like your website builder will do most of this for you, unless you have a really bad one, in which case it won't. You might end up with something like JJ Hat Center, where they don't even have article or they don't have any schema on that page, really, besides breadcrumbs. So the last one here we're going to take a look at is Connor Hats because they were recommended as well. And these guys don't even have schema markup, right? Let's take a look at where they're ranking in here. Um, which one was it? Connor Hats, JJ Hat Center. Oh no, now it's not going to show up, of course. Literally, I refresh the page and it doesn't show up. Let's check these. Or were they ranking down here, maybe? That's what I was looking at. No, I'm just a liar. Oh, yeah, no, sorry, they are down here. So they don't have anything, and they are not showing up in the AI overviews, which tells me like maybe you do need some schema markup. at at the very least. Like the fact that these guys don't have any schema markup at all, right? This is a collections page, which they should have some schema markup on there for sure. This looks like it's Shopify. So the fact that they're not ranking and they don't have schema probably means you need at least basic schema. But then, like, let's go to the other end of it where Gear Junkie, who is ranking number one up here, right? They have the most schema. They're doing a lot of stuff. And we're going to take a look at the content in a second. And because I know that a big part of this is the actual content itself. You can do all the schema and stuff in the world, but if the content isn't there, AI is not going to pick it up. So let's take a look here where they are mentioned in the AI overviews. So these guys are mentioned. Hold on, let's go over here. So Gear Junkie is what, the fourth, fifth, one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, seventh site listed in there. So is the schema markup really helping them all that much? Maybe in organic rankings, but not in the AI overviews, at least not at this point. They do have the most amount of backlinks as well. So when we're talking about AI overviews, I'm just going to switch back to my main screen here. When we're talking about AI overviews, it's from this experiment that we just did, all the data that we just looked at, it's not the most amount of backlinks and it is not the most amount of schema, right? You have to have the basic schema that most website builders will add, but you don't need to do all of this extra stuff like that Gear Junkies site or whatever was doing. So now let's just take a look again here. We're going to go back. I did a chat GPT prompt, the exact same thing. So best hats for fishing. Here's some top rating fishing hats. And again, it's citing Gear Junkie right away. So maybe schema markup is a little bit more important and that authority is more important for ChatGPT. Then we have TX Headwear, which I didn't see anywhere on the other one. We have Gear Junkie mentioned down here again. We have this other site that wasn't mentioned there. And then we have two other sources. So it looks like Gear Junkie, and this kind of is my theory on how ChatGPT is ranking sites and ranking or showing, I guess, ranking sites in a way, is referencing sites, is that they're doing a Google search and they're looking at what Google is already saying um, as part of their research, right? So Google's already looking at, does this person have the most authority? Are they being referenced online? All this kind of stuff. And ChatGPT is not crawling the entirety of the internet and indexing the entire internet every time you make a search. So I definitely think it's weighing on the Google results, maybe even Google's AI results. But they're showing Gear Junkie number one here. So again, that could be a reflection. Gear Junkie showing up number one here. They have the schema markup. They have the authority because they have those backlinks. But I'm not seeing Wired to Fish anywhere on there. Right? Let's go back here. Let's see if we can see anything else here. Beyond Braid, TX Headwear. Let's look at the sources. Gear Junkie. Yeah, Wikipedia. Like JJ Hat Center showing up in here. I'm not seeing that other site at all. Right? So it's not even being mentioned. And like the other thing, I just want to go back and say the JJ Hat Center, they just have breadcrumbs. That's all they have. Gear Junkie has all of the schema markup, and these guys here, Wired to Fish, have article schema markup. So I think one of the things that I want to, not even one of the things, a big thing that I want to show you is the actual content. So Gear Junkie has a bunch of schema markup talking about products, listing products on the website. So they're showing all of these as product schema, and they have review schema, and they have all of this stuff on the site, and you could actually see what the product is. To me, this is the most helpful information because if you scroll through here, you see best overall fishing hat. They have scores. They have their own scoring system. They have pros and cons, really nicely organized up here. And yeah, a couple of paragraphs, whatever. Best budget fishing hat. So they have all of these different, again, scores. If you're a human being reading this content, you're going to be like, okay, well, this makes sense that these guys rank number one because their content is the most helpful. Now, if I go to JJ Hat Center, they don't have schema on this page. They don't have products. They have one picture. It's a guy with a bucket. That doesn't really make any sense. So to me, I'm like, why is this site ranking? This doesn't make any sense. Why is this site being referenced so much? All I can really tell is like, they have this section up here that's like kind of like key points basically, right? The best fishing hats combine effort, utility, durability. Keep an eye out for these key features. So what I'm seeing is when we're including stuff like this in our pieces of content, that gives either, ChatGPT or AI overviews something to pull really quickly and make a decision and kind of uh, compare it against other websites. So with that in mind, like, should we be doing key features or key summary or key points? Absolutely, you should be doing that in your content. Um, so the last thing here, let's do best fishing hats for 2025. This site looks like it has cancer, for fuck's sakes. There's ads everywhere. There's videos. Sorry, I'm really hating this experience. So in terms of user experience, I'm not having a good time on this site. It's really hard to be like, I'm looking for a hat. I have this video here. Why is this video on here? Maybe it does talk about the hats, but I'm just saying fishing. So they have hats up here. Um, let's see. So our top picks. So they have top picks there. Yeah, this site is not the best. Like the images are just also very huge. And like, why do I need to see the guy? Just show me the hat. Right. Okay, there we go. There's the hat. There's another one. Yeah. So just from a usability standpoint, like I can see people coming to this site being like, there's so many ads, there's all this stuff, and then clicking back and being like, wow, look how nice and neat and organized this Gear Junkie website is in comparison. So yeah, I think it really does come down to the content. And then also like having those key summaries. Like these guys have it up here. Great fishing hat ensures that you'll be protected from the sun, rain, and to some degree wind while you fished. Right. So they have this little kind of summary up there of what to expect with a fishing hat, which these JJ Hat Center also has. Now, again, these guys have a ton of schema markup. Do you need to do that? You can try it. It's not guaranteed to work. In this instance, these guys are ranking number one on Google here. And again, we can verify that in SEMrush, Gear Junkie, and then Wired to Fish. But again, Wired to Fish doesn't really have any schema, right? So yeah, do with that information what you will. That's it.